Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a fun looking puzzle in front of us, and this is actually part of a series. I've seemed to be saying that a bit often recently, although some of those videos might not actually get out, so you might not know what I'm talking about, but there is a series that Marty Sears has done where it's a riff on pickup sticks, and I think there's maybe 4 or 5 of them. This is the first one I've seen of it, and I think this is the last one that's been done. But they all have the same concept to them in general, but they use different rule set in terms of what the lines are. So this one is called Pickup Sticks Pink by Marty Sears. And let's just take a look at these rules and see what's going on here, because as you can see, it's an interesting looking puzzle. Like I said, one of a couple of them that they've been done already. So normal Sudoku rules. So every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. Now you notice there is a difference here in the typical background. I don't know if that's something you can modify in the options or if that's just part of how the puzzle is set up, but I'm sure somebody knows the answer to that and could comment and put a remark in the comments below and say something about that. But anyway, in case I bring that up, in case the vision of this doesn't work well for you and you might want to change it up. So each pink stick is formed of a non-repeating set of consecutive digits arranged in some order. So all of these lines are going to be, or all these sticks are going to be Ren bands. So whatever these digits are, they will be a repeating or non-repeating consecutive set of digits. And then a stick always has a lower total, the sum of its digits, than any stick which lies on top of it. So let's say we figured out that this stick had a value of 8. Because of the numbers that are on it. Well, because this stick is lying on top of it, it would have to have a value higher than 8 of all of its digits combined. So that's simple rule set, essentially, but something completely different than I've ever seen before done. And like I said, there's multiple ones of these. I think one of them maybe is a region sum, one is a Dutch whisper. There's a few of them with using different line rule types. So depending on how this one goes, if I solve it and if you guys enjoy it, I might pick up some of those other ones as well and try to do those. But until then, we're going to work on this one. So link to this one's in the description below. Let's give it a try. Now, what does that actually tell us for any of this? Well, I guess we know these, because these are Ren bands, we can make some base determinations of what the values of some of these things can be. Because these have to be non-repeating consecutive digits. So the bare minimum this guy here can be would be a 6. I think we'll mark that in some way. As a reference, and we might have to change how we mark this, but I'm going to start with this here at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has to, it's going to be tough to do it this way because this has to be a minimum of 10. This would have to be a minimum. Well, it would actually have to be, because we can't do 1, 2, 3, so it would be 2, 3, 4. So this guy would actually be a minimum of 9. Because this cannot, it has to be a consecutive set, so we couldn't just say this is a 7, because you can't do 1, 2, 4. Now this guy has to sit on top of this guy, and it's going to have to up itself again by 1 digit, so 3, 4, 5 would be possible, which will get us up to 12. I don't know how I'm going to really mark these things, but we're going to keep going. This guy now is 1 above that. So we're looking at 4, 5, 6. We're at 15 here. This guy sits on top of that. So it's going to be 5, 6, 7 as a bare minimum, which is 18. Again, these are going to be, the marking here is we're going to have to keep this stuff in our heads as well as to what we're actually saying here. But I think what we're going to get to is a minimum down here somewhere that's going to have to be what. And I'm going through these obviously fairly slowly and proddingly just to kind of first off get my head to understand what the heck's happening here and also kind of provide a background for what this is doing. So So we said this one would be a bare minimum of 5, 6, 7. this would have to be a bare minimum of 7, 8, 9. You can see where this is going. Or sorry, 6, 7, 8. So this guy would be a bare minimum of 21. And then this guy here has to go up one more. So it would have to be a 987. So it has to be the 987. And I think that's going to tell us that these are all exactly what we've just said, because we had one delineation between each one. So 987, 876, 765, 654, 543, 432, 321. So that is correct. So these will be 876, and I'll come back and do all the removal of digits here. These have to be 567. These have to be 456. These have to be 345. These have to be 234, and this has to be 123. Now, that's going to give us some groupings here that we can obviously start working on. So like this digit is seen by all of these, so it can't be 8 or 7. So it is 6. These can't be 6s. That 6 now sees, well, we'll just go stick by stick. It sees both of these. So it must go here. This now can't be any of these, so it must go here. And we can probably then start to move on to a different digit because we don't have any more 6s that are looking into these guys. So let's see. This can't be 5 or 7 because it's seen by both of them. So it's 8, which means this is 7, which means this is 7. These are not 7s. Good. What else do we have? The 4, 5 is going to do the same thing. It's going to look here at the 5, 7. So this can't be a 5. So it is 7. This is 5. Good. This can't be 5. What else do we have here? Let's see. I know we've got something here. I've just got to locate it in my head. Or do I? Maybe not. So maybe we need to use these digits now to work with something. We'll do some base Sudoku here for a second just to see if something pops out at us. Now, this guy here, we don't necessarily know what it is. We know it had to be a minimum of 10. But we can't say what it actually is, I don't think. Because it could be 9, 8, 7, 6 for all we know. It just has to be higher than this stick. But it doesn't have any other sticks that are on top of it that force it down anywhere. Okay. One of these is a 5, but those don't look at anything specifically. One of these is a 5, and it doesn't look at anything. I guess we know that these are one of these. Well, these are like an X-wing of 5s, but they're kind of cross regions, so they're not as helpful. So maybe now we need to look at something else and start to debate what could be what. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we've got a triple in this region, so we can say these are 1, 2, and 9. Is that really doing much? Let's think about the rows, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we don't quite have anything there. What about you guys? Well, I guess, no. There's an 8, 9 here. One of these will be an 8, 9 as well, but we don't know exactly which one it is. What about you? There also has to be a 9 in one of these two. Don't know. Again, I don't know if that tells us much about this, though. So what else do we have? Let's continue to scan. And this is sometimes where I get stuck, because for me personally, it can be a little bit difficult to see some of this stuff when I have a ton of information standing out at me, but that's personal problems. So yeah, I'm not seeing any quads, triples, quintuples, or anything currently working here. So I feel like we have to be able to get into something else to help us to break this up again. And it might just be some of these other Ren bands that we have to start thinking about. Yeah. One of these must be 7s. Yeah, I'm not quite seeing anything there, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we do have a quad here. We can use that, because one of the 4s has to be here, so it can't be here. The same goes with these. One of these will be a 1, so this is not a 1. That forces a 2, 3. Okay, there we go. That forces this not to be a 3, so we get a 4, 5. And a 2, 3. Now, is it, because if we think about this row, we've got 1, 8, and 9 left over. And I'll come back to this in a second. Is it possible that we can remove the 1 from any of these? It is. Because if this is a 1, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad, because they have to be Ren bands, so they have to be non-repeating consecutive, which means this is 2, 3, or 4, but we already have 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this region. So this is not 1, which means this is. Good. Now, do we want to jump into these guys? Or do we want to think more about this? Because we either have a 9 or an 8 on this thing, which means this grouping is from 9, 8, 7, 6, possibly 5, because 8, 7, 6, 5 would be possible. Now, this can't be 6 or 7. Do we have anything else that continues that process? That can't be a 6. Not quite, I don't think, at this juncture. 1, 2, 3, no, we still, let's think about these digits, though. Because again, we know this can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So therefore, it can't also be 5, 6, 7, or 8. This is 9. This is not 9. Okay, that's starting to whittle that down just a little bit more. We know one of these two is going to be a 9, because we can't put it anywhere else. This is from 1, 2, 3, or 4. Not super helpful, but it is what it is. Let's think about these digits then. Again, we can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, so they are from 5, 6, 7s, and 8s. We don't really have a correlation there necessarily. Although, we can remove an 8 from here, I think. Yes, we can. Because if this was an 8, it doesn't matter what we put here, whether it be a 7 or a 9, this will always be higher than this. Because if this is an 8, and let's say we put a 7 here, well, this can only be up to a 6, and this would be a 5, because we couldn't use the 7, because we already did. So this would be low, so this has to be, it can't be an 8. I think the same will occur here with this can't be a 5. Because if it's a 5, it's pushing a higher digit into this cell, either the 6 or the 7. And now this one, no matter what we put, is going to have a higher value than this. So this can't be a 5 either. Now, I don't know if that necessarily does a whole lot for us, but it's a little something to think about. Is there anything else? Because there are some digits that have to go here now, because we can't put them here. So these are, and this may not have even been a worthwhile thing to do, but we have to put a 3 and a 4 over here. This can't be 3 or 4. And it doesn't quite sort these out. And those are the only digits that we can say have to go in here. Okay. Well, do we have any other of these groupings of quads or triples or anything else that we can use. Again, we already said we have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Was there another bit of information we could have? Because again, like we said, we had a 4 in one of these two, so this one never could. We had a 1 in one of these, this never could. Is something else like that available here? I don't think it is, but I could just be missing it. Yeah, I don't quite see a correlation there. Because these guys don't, unlike some of these other ones, they don't see two different positions. These see this, but we don't know what these digits are, so it doesn't rule these out. These two see this, but that has no bearing. These see this, but again, there's options, so it doesn't rule those things out. Okay, so we're going to have to look somewhere else again. I guess we can say these have to be, that's probably not the greatest, but these have to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This can't be 9. This can't be 9. I think, again, we're going to say that this can't be an 8. Yeah. It's going to be the same concept that we did up here. If this is an 8, that forces this to be a 7, this to be a 6, which makes this a lower digit. So that's not 4, or that's not 8. This is not going to be 4 because it can't connect to the 6 anyway, but can this ever be a 7, 6? With this being the 7 specifically? I think the answer is no, because that would force this to be an 8, and this can't be anything. Does it work the same way backwards? If this is a 7, it forces this to be 6. And then this would be an 8, but it has nothing to pair with. So yeah, that's not a 7 either. Okay. Okay, so there are little interactions there. I wonder, let's look at this guy on the low side. If this was to be a 5, it would force this to be a 6, which breaks this. This is not 5. So one of these two is a 7, essentially, because it's going to be either a 6, 7 or a 7, 8, and one of these is a 5, because it's either going to be a 4, 5 or a 5, 6. Is there anything more in that? If this is 7, it could go to 6 or 8 and be fine. If this is a 6, it goes to the 5. These would be 7s and 8s, no problem. Okay. Okay, that doesn't, again, we're removing options, but I can't quite see where we can pull it down to one certain digit. So let's think yet again on where we might have some reductions. The bare minimum of this guy would be a 1, 2, 3. Which does push this up a little bit higher than just a singular. Like, obviously, this can't be 1, 2, 3, because then this would have to be higher. I don't think you can make it a 2, 3, 4 either, because that forces this to be a 1, 2, 3. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this? 3, 4, and 5 we could probably get away with. And then pretty much anything above that. Because then I think this then could be a 1, 2, 3. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would work, yeah. But again, getting it to those digits, is that really worthwhile? Because we still have all these other options. These obviously can't be 6s, this can't be 7s or 8s, but it's not giving us too much understanding of what these are. Well, actually, it probably can't be a 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, could it? Oh, maybe, no, this one can't be a 3. Because if it was, these are 4 and 5. This would have to be either a 1, 2, 3 or a 2, 3, 4. But the 3 sees all of them. Yeah, that's nitpicking here, and I don't think that's getting us too far either. Okay. So, we had a pretty quick start on this thing, and now all of a sudden I'm flailing about. So what the heck are we doing? Why am I not seeing the obvious, most likely? Oh, the row. There it is. Where does the 1 go? That is the 1. Okay. That's not anything else like that. Yeah, this one here. Now, because we removed the 1s from... Well, there never was a 1 from there, but this one is a 1 as well. That pushes a 1 to here. 2. One of these is a 2 now, which means this one isn't. This is a 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. Just had to get my head in the right position. These are not 8s, so this forces the 9. That then does force what these are. So we can't have a 9, we can't have the 5, therefore this is 7 and 6 by all the reductions that we had to do. Cool. This digit here now has to be a 2, which gives us what these are, and then we can probably now reduce these to some usable portion. 3, 4, and 8. Yeah. So let's stop doing the hard stuff and try doing the easy stuff. Imagine that. What else can we do? One of these is a 5, but that's not super helpful, I don't think, at the moment. This 9, though, says this is 8. Do we have any of these guys that are sorted? I don't think so, apart from that one. We already knew one of these was a 3, so that doesn't help us. Okay. Let's see. This can't be an 8, because this can't be a 7 or a 9. So this is 3 or 4, which means this is 2, 3, 4, or 5. Don't really care for that, but once again, it's there. This is not an 8. Okay, so that makes this the 8. Good. And where's our next trick? Let's scan a bit more. This can't be 7. I know this stuff is all crazy down here, but it's what I saw, so I went for it. Do we have any columns that are helping us now? It doesn't look like it. This can't be an 8, so this is a 6, 7. So neither one of these can ever be a 6, which means this is 5, and this is 4. There we go. 7, 6, 7. We're starting to move now. These are not 4s. That is not a 4, which means this is 5. And I have to take a phone call. Hold on, I'll pause it, and you won't even know I'm gone. Alrighty, I am back. Sorry about that. I know you guys didn't notice anything because it was literally like that occurred, but I was on the phone for a few minutes there. I did pause this thing right before I did that so that my time didn't go up, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So anyway, where are we at? We just put a 5 here, apparently, so this is not a 5. Now we have a 3, 4 pair, so this becomes 5, this becomes 4. And the 2, 3 pair says we are a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 and a 3. There we go. Okay. So yet again, just had to find the right place to be looking at, and took a second to say, oh, wait, let's look over here, or let's look over here and see what's going on. So we're there now. So that got a good chunk of this now taken care of. So we can start to hopefully dig into this a little bit further and see what we can reduce. Because we're going to get some reductions on all of these things now because we have a bunch of digits. We should be able to do something with it. The question's going to be what? This can never be a 3 now. So we're either looking at this being a 987, 876, or 765, which means there's always a 7. So we can put that in. These two are not 7s anymore, so our markings help us out. This is. Now, I guess we still don't know what these are, because it could be 9. Well, this one can never be a 9, because if it was, we don't have an 8 to put with it, but 7s. Let's just do that, because we have a bunch of them. We probably have everything now, don't we? Yeah, we do. Let's think about Sudoku real quick. Maybe we can get some reductions, or maybe 1 digit or 2 digits here or there that's going to give us a little bit of room to work. Now, this can never have a 9 on it, because if it did, it would automatically be higher than whatever this is. Okay. And 8s, let's just tag some of this stuff right now. One of these will be an 8. One of these will be an 8. We said the 7s were done, so let's take a look at our 6s. One of these. One of these. And let's go through these. That's 5. Is there anything about these column, this one in particular, because it's got a ton of digits in it? We need 2, 5, and 8. The answer is really no, because we don't have anything removed from both of them. Oh well, it was worth a look-see. So again, one of these is a 4. One of these is a 4. I think this one could still be a 4, yeah, because it can make this work. Let's go to our low digits here and see if we can pull something together. One of these will be a 3. 2s. And the 1s. Yeah, I didn't necessarily think we were going to get a ton of stuff, but we do have a little bit of something, so. Okay, so let's regroup and figure out where our next place to look is. This one is still a 3 or 4. This is still a 2, 3, or 5. Can we start thinking about one of these other ones? This one seems like it's the least useful, to be honest with you. So let's think about these guys. This could have a 1, can't be 2, could be 3, can't be 4, could be 5, can't be 6, 7, or 8. But it could technically have a 9 on it, but this one obviously can't have a 9 because it's underneath. This can't have a 9 because we can't put an 8 here. Now this one's not going to have a 1. For this, again, that would force this one to be a 1, 2, and this would be higher than it. Same reason this can't have a 5, for same reasonings we've gone through in all of these things. Oop, no 5, thank you. So this is either a 1 with a 2, a 3 with a 2, or a 3 with a 4. This is either a 3 with a 2 or a 4, or it's a 5 with a 4, and the 5 can't go with the 6 because of multiple reasons. So we get a 2-4 pair, actually, which means this is 3 and 4. That's good because it removes a 2 from here. These become a 1-9 pair. Let's put those in. Did we get anything in this grouping? Doesn't look like it. Now, this can't be a 4. So let's continue this process. If it is, this is a 4, 3. This becomes a 5 and a 2. So this is the 2. This is the 4. We don't necessarily, I don't think we can, though, finalize this, because this could be a 2, 3, and a 4, 5, or a 1, 2, 4, 3, or a 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Oh, well. Well, the 4 here, though, does say this is a 4, though. So we have more forage. One of these will be a 4. Can we make reductions on these guys in any way? Let's say this was a 4. Yeah, it's still possible. This could be 3 or 5. One of these is going to be something we can use. We might just have to correlate here. and see what pops up onto the lines, and it may be this column or this column. This one seems like it might be a little bit better to do, but we'll start here because this is where I started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This obviously can't be 9, and it can't be 8. Yeah, because this one's below this one, so if I put an 8 here, these would be... oh, wait. Trying to put my words to it, it's not working, but if we put an 8 here, no matter what we do here, we're always going to end up being higher than this, because that would force this to be a 5 and this to be a 6. So, no 8. Is it possible that there's a 1 on here? I guess there is, because this could be a 2 and this could be a 3. Could this be a 5? This... well, it would force this to... well, if this was a 5, wouldn't that force this to either be a 4 or a 6? Because we can't put a 4 or a 6 here. Yeah, this would have to be a 4 or a 6, because we're going to have one of those two be next to the 5, and this one can't do it. So if this was a 4 or a 6, but there's no 4 or 6 here, this can't be a 5. Now, we still are kind of picking this thing apart a little bit, which is not the greatest, but it seems to be getting us places. Let's think about just these digits instead of the full columns or rows and stuff like that. So 1, not 2, 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, can't be 8 or 9. So this is 1 or 3. This one has to be, well, yeah, this has to be a 2, doesn't it? I think that's just a given. So let's say this was a 1. That forces this to be a 3. This has to be a 2. Let's say this is a 4. This has to be a 3. This would have to be a 2 or a 5, and it can't be a 5. This is a 2. This is not a 2, which means this is a 2. That doesn't quite figure that out. What else does it do? So if... no, we still don't know. We know one of these... well, we know it's either a 3-4 pair or a 1-3 pair. That's about the extent there. But did that 2 do anything for us? Yeah, it gave us a 2-4 pair. Guess that means this can't be an 8. What are these digits then? 2, 3, 5, and 6. Well, that actually gives us a 6, because we have to have a 6 on this thing somewhere, so it must go here. Again, little bits and pieces. This is either 3 or 5. Now, I guess we can use this 2-4 to help us determine what this digit could be. It can't be 1, so if it's a 2, this would be a 3. But if it's a 4, this could be a 3 or a 5. So it gives us a 3-5 pair with a 2-4 pair and a 1-9 pair. So this ends up being a 6-8 pair. And maybe we can use that elsewhere. What are these 3? 3, 5, and 9. One of these is a 9, but that's not really doing much for us. Do we have any more Sudoku that's just occurred through some of this stuff? We do. The 2 now must go here. This becomes a 2-5 pair. So we get the X-wing on 2s there. Let's go through our Sudoku another time. Yep, here we go. This becomes 1. This becomes 8. That 1 says this is 3. That doesn't say what this is just yet, though. These are not 3s. This is actually a 9-8 pair. The 3-5 here actually just says this is 8. No, mouse, 8, 9, 8. So now we have an 8 and a 7. This can't be a 5, but it could still be 6 or 9. These are not 8s. What else are they not? 1, 4, 5, 9. No, we don't. Oh, this isn't 4. feel like we have these cross members going on here, but I'm not getting them. So one of these will be a 4. We already knew that. Okay, the 9 here comes back to get us our 1 and our 9. There we go. Just being a little slow again. This is a given 6. Therefore, this is 9. What is this digit? It's either 1, 3, or 5. I don't think we have anything looking at that necessarily. This is not a 9. 1, 3, 5, no. Okay. It's fighting us along the way here for some reason. This is a 1, 6 pair. Anything on that? Not really. Do we have anything? We don't really have anything left over on our pickup sticks to determine between which value is higher and which one's lower. So I think we are just in Sudoku, and we just have to find the last bit of information. So let's find it. Where are you at? Here we go, 3s. This is a 3. 1, 5. This is 9. This is 8. 1, 9, 4, 5. This is a 3. This is a 1. That breaks everything up. 1, 6, 8, 6. The 4 gives us the 2 and the 4, and that 2 says this is a 3 and a 5, and the 5 and a 2, and this is the 3, and this is 5, 9. There we go. Okay, we got there. That was 37. Wow, didn't feel like 37 minutes at all. So you see it has quite a few solves in about a week. So very good puzzle. It did take me a minute to kind of get the concept, but again, I did kind of go through every single possible, not every possible one, but going through each one individually to try to get to that. So worked out quite well. I really did enjoy this puzzle. So I think depending on how you guys react to this, I'll probably try to give some of these other ones a try of the pickup sticks with the other line variants. So let me know in the comments if you want to see any of those, and let me know how you did. So that said, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.